Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Gardens Grow. Look at these beautiful little plants. I just got them this year and they look so wonderful. This is, well, it's all that rain, I'm sure, but this is that polymer Prince begonia, and I've in the past had to wait several months for it to look good. It came looking pretty good all just in the package. So, and now it's just opened up, filled up, and looks so great. There's a little bit to go in the back there, but the front part of this pot is just absolutely showing off. And then this is a yellow crown of thorns plant, and I'm waiting for it to get when this little start gets big enough, I'm going to clip it off of there and get a start for my sister, who gave me the start that I lost of my salmon pink orange creamsicle beautiful color crown of thorns. And I gave her a start of mine. Mine died, and then she gave me a start back. So yes, she definitely deserves a start of this one. Besides, knowing me, it's a possibility I may have to ask her for another start of it back again someday. But I hope I can actually grow these and keep them going. Of course, that's one way to keep them going. And I love my sisters. It would not be the first time one of them kept me going. And here is my little salmon colored crown of thorns. And I know it's going to have to grow a long, long ways to get back to where it was when I lost it. But that first one started out this size, so we'll just hope that it'll keep going. And this is the lovely little plant like I got for my stepdaughter Laura for her birthday, and I got me one too, which hers will probably live longer than mine, but I'm gonna try. Maybe one day I'll be able to grow houseplants and keep them going. We got more rain, and this is my first cosmos bloom, and I watered last night because I didn't know it was going to rain. We never really know. Even if we know we have a chance, we're not sure we're going to get rain. But while I was watering, I wanted to tell you that this little cactus here is, let me get around closer to it where you can see. I thought it was probably going to die here because look, it's not, this is the one I put in there and it didn't seem like it was doing anything, but look at it now. It's got, I started to say two, just look a little bit more like I did. There is four little starts on this cactus coming up. That's wonderful. I'm gonna have to give one of these to my sister. I think she would love a cactus that doesn't have thorns. And my tall phlox is beginning to bloom. This is called Laura phlox, and it's been the best for me. I've tried other colors and varieties, but they just don't seem to hang in there. But this little Laura phlox does. And there's another one beginning its bloom. And I also saw that right down here I have a little seedling marigold, and this is the big marigolds that make the giant blooms. So I'll be anxious to show that to you probably in the late summer if nothing happens to it except good things and growth. flourishing into beautiful blooms. Right on cue, thank you. So, but look, I wanted to show you that the rains have even made one of these. These are one of my little cell clematis that I got, and it's actually blooming, and that's going to be so beautiful on this when it just fills out and makes a great showing on there. Oh, the beauty of the ever-changing gardens. And I just clipped off, the old dead ones off of this so you could just see the bright, fresh ones after the rain. But even though you have to keep trimming off the old dead ones to look at the pretty, fresh ones, they do simply carry the garden for the summer months when other things are not necessarily growing or in bloom. And some seasons just succumb to summer's heat, but this season has been different. Oh, I wish they would all be like this from now on. But and look at this, is the dragon wing begonia. You can just see all that new growth on there. This was probably about this tall when I got it, and now it has already gone up this far, and it's looking so healthy, so bright, and so beautiful. I see the little begonias are still doing wonderfully, but I'm coming over to check out my little cactus because I lost my salmon one, as I've told you, but I lost it due to it getting wet and it wasn't draining. And I didn't realize it until it was too late. I tried drying it out and hoping it would come back to life, but it just didn't. You can tell I have not trimmed off the old ones off of these, but these screaming orange daylilies are just one of my favorites. And I'm seeing that my little, so to say, cactus, which it is a cactus, it's the crown of thorns, but it is still doing well. You can see all those thorns on there. It's still doing well, and I believe it's starting to put me out a little panicle bloom that I can maybe clip off and have ready for my sister in a few weeks, hopefully. And also this polymer prince is still doing great. I put some little clippings in these pots, and they seem to be doing well too. They have a ways to go to really shine, but they're getting ready to. I even put one in this little swan. We'll see how it will fare there. And I put a few more of the kind of fuzzy purple heart plants or wandering Jew in this little pot right here. And I have a couple of them, this one and the one right back here. And they are long and hanging down and looking good. But in all of my good stories, there's also like this one right here. I don't think this is ever going to come out of it, but I did find that this was a pink swirling butterfly's gara, and I did find that one little piece of it has lived where I transplanted it into a pot in the front, so I'm hoping that it will eventually grow up and let me get some starts from it to get maybe another one in this place and one. Oh, as a matter of fact, I just remembered that there is another little start coming up in another place where I thought it had died out, but there is one there too, so that's great. And I'm hoping, I'm pretty sure I planted some plants here, but I don't know if they're going to come up. They may have rotted or something, so I'm not sure, but I may have to plant something else in this little spot. Did I already tell you I love how my little bacopa, my little white bacopa, is doing here in this pot? It's filling it out, and it's just looking great. So I'm hoping that they all will. You know what? I'm going to go back over there and look at my pink one and see how it's doing. So I'm back over here, and it's still doing good. It's not in very much bloom. It has a few little blooms on it, but it's still looking healthy and good. I'm so glad. That would be wonderful if I got not only the white and blue, but also pink going this year, and they would do good or do well. And also that's because of the rains. I know our rains and cooler weather, I just always assumed if we could just have those instead of constant fighting the heat and the dry spells of our western Oklahoma. But this year has proved that it could do it if it just was given a chance. And I see that one little seed has come up. I planted zinnias here, and I think it may be too much in the shade. I'm going to try to see if I can find some shade plants. I would love to have impatiens here, but I don't know. I may have missed my opportunity for buying impatiens this year. Some things you just have to get in early spring and try to get them started, and then you'll have them for the rest of the season too, if the snails don't kill them like they do at my house. Look, this little miniature hosta is blooming today. And this little pot is so filling out, although I'm seeing some ants making a trail up this pole, so I'm going to have to put some ant killer there. But look how these little tiny coleuses are growing up. Pretty soon there's going to be some color in this little pot. And this right here is it's in the morning glory family, but it's not a vine. But when it blooms, it has just a beautiful bright, it's as bright as blue as this black and blue salvia here. And then in the center of it, it has a bright yellow. And if you've seen yellow and blue together, you know that that is definitely an eye catcher. I can't really smell these hardly during the day, but at night when I come out and water, the scent just wafts across to me. It smells so wonderful. I think the birds must be happy for the rain today too, because they are really chirping. And I love this orange coneflower. It's kind of a bright creamsicle orange. It's so pretty. My sister Rose had one of these out by her pool, and it was just so beautiful. And I had one that was pretty, but it was not nearly this pretty. And I found another one, and it turned out to be this beautiful orange like hers. Love looking at other people's gardens, because you just get so many ideas for your own garden and so much inspiration for your own garden. and you'll think, oh, I never thought of doing it like that, or putting those together, or what plant is that you had never even really noticed before, and they have it where it's just a star of their garden show. My little on sale on root climbing roses are still alive too. They're not doing much yet, but I think they're putting down their root and getting ready to. That's what I like to think, and a lot of the times that is the truth. My husband and I were just saying yesterday how much prettier these would be if they didn't just die the first day, but that's why they're called a daylily. But luckily they usually put on some more bloom. Here's one that's firm and fixing to open probably tomorrow or the next day. And I see that I will soon have some blooms from the hibiscus. Now I'm going to take this one right here off, because I don't think it'll ever bloom. Something has happened to it, but the rest of them are bright and pretty and healthy looking, and I'm thinking we're going to get several. Look at this little tiny grasshopper. He'll grow up if I don't kill him first, which I would prefer, but we'll see how that goes. I can't catch these grasshoppers fast enough. Oh, look at that. Another one came and got on there. Some more clematis bloom right here. And this is the little cardinal climber. I gave some seed to my friend Susie and her neighbor, where if you saw the post where we went into his yard and saw some of his flowers, but he starts a lot of his from seed, and this is one he started from seed and gave it back to Susie, and she had more than she wanted, so she gave this one back to me. And all of mine that I thought were coming up volunteer from the one I had here last year actually were weeds. So I pulled the weeds up and planted this, and hopefully we'll have a little beauty here before too long. It's a little beauty now, but I mean when it puts up little bloom, bright, beautiful blooms, and opens up. And I'm seeing I need to do a little liquid edging because I already have some grass coming through under the fence. Also, lately I've been having computer problems and having to rework some of my posts that I had ready to go on, and I lost some of them, and I've had to go back and find the pictures and redo it. And I don't know if you were one of the 20 views that I had of one that put on that was not supposed to go on until July the 8th, I guess. Instead of clicking schedule, I clicked to just make it public, but to publish, but that is not what I meant to do. So I actually did take that one off. Thank you for viewing it if you did, and you'll get another chance if you didn't see it all or all you wanted to see, because hopefully it will still come on July the 8th, but before that, on July the 1st, you will have seen, by the time you get this movie put on, I get this movie put on and you get to see it, you will actually have seen Susie's garden on here. You don't want to miss that beautiful strawberry pot full of impatiens. Starting to have a few little blooms on the sedum also. One little castor bean is doing good. I hope he keeps it up because it's the only one I have now. I did go ahead and give my other two away. Ruby said she would take those off my hands, so I hope she enjoys them. And I hope this one grows up to be tall as a tree. A small tree. But it has big, beautiful leaves. These leaves just keep growing and growing. And I'm seeing that beautiful rose that Lacey wants one of. My niece Lacey wants one of these. I'm going to have to get over there and hopefully get it a little better for you. I never think I've gotten them all, but I'm still surprised when I find weeds this big in the garden hiding from me. These will no longer be in the garden, at least. I show you my little scarlet runner beans. Oh, they're so wonderful. I would have had 3, but a snail ate one over on this side, but I think I've told you before, I'm pretty sure these will be big enough. I need to get me some twine. I've had it there, you can see, in times past, but I need to get some over here where these can grab a hold of it and then twine it up this little bean pole. So look at this. We got another 3/4 inch of rain. Oh, and look what I'm seeing now. I'm looking over here, and this is another one of the tall phlox, and this is a deep, darker color than the ones that I normally had. So this is one of my newer ones that I'm trying. I keep trying. I would like to have lots of colors, but I'll always be grateful for my little Laura phlox that has never quit on me. And I noticed this little sage is doing good. I hope it's not got too much shade there. I hope it will do well. It is right now, and I hope it keeps that up. I love this little daylily too, mainly because of those pretty ruffled edges. This little pot that was looking so bare is totally filling out. It has the angelonia. It has a seed that I planted. It looks like there may be 3 of them, and I think these are the purple globe flowers. And then it has the pretty double petunias. This little coleus is just getting fuller and thicker, and that's what's really making it fill out. And then it also has one of the pretty blue Victorian salvias. And I've noticed this erosion is getting to be more too. I guess that's the price we pay for having all this wonderful rain. So my husband actually had to do this last year, or he did fill it in. You can tell where he's filled the fresh soil in. And this is caused mainly because I try to keep I keep it liquid edged with root killing, which kills out the Bermuda grass, any other thing also. But the Bermuda grass is hard to kill because when you do kill it, it just keeps putting those little, these just keep going and going, which is great, except for when you need to have a area where it doesn't grow into your flowers. So I don't really know what to do about that yet. So what do you do? What do you do to help? You can tell where I've sprayed this and some of it is dying, but it's already beginning to come back across. So it won't take it long, and I'm always having to do that. Sometimes in the extreme heat out here doing that, because there's not a day in the summer in between the times when it would actually reach all the way over and then come across the brick and go right into this soil where it can put its root down and keep going. And that I sure do not want to have to get it out of these. I think I would literally have to kill everything out here to get the grass out, to get it killed, and I don't want that. So I keep spraying it. Get these bright, beautiful zinnias. I love zinnias because they absolutely are a nostalgia plant from my childhood, and my dad bought us zinnias. I know I've told you I like to remember that. I like to remember when our dad, who would not get anything that was not a necessity, came home one day with a packet of seeds and said, "I got these seeds because I have all these girls." And girls need flowers, don't they? And I noticed my pretty little blue balloon flowers are kind of playing with with the yellow and the orange, and looking good. And this little pot has a ways to go to really fill out and be pretty, but this is looking great. And I put this periwinkle or vinca in here, and I already had this one, which is doing good. You can tell it didn't start doing as well as this one did. It was this big when I got it. And I did plant a little zinnia seed here, which will fill out quite a bit of that. And there are some coleuses in there too. They are so small and not doing well yet, but they could just really fill up and be beautiful at one point. And this little plant right here is a incredible hydrangea. I had one here once before, but it never did take off and go, and then it finally died, but it tried for a long time. So this one is looking good for me, and I hope it will continue to look good and just fill out and be a great beauty May not have room for it there between this crepe myrtle and my lilac, but I hope I do, because it will give me some color once the lilac color goes away. And these are my Lily May lilies, as I call them, because of the coloring on them, and that is something exactly like she would color or paint for me, as she's painted several things in my garden. And while this one has a ways to go to reach its greatest beauty, I'm thinking we're going to be able to watch it get there. There's a Colorsaurus coleus in there that is getting big, but there's also one right back here that's just sitting there. But it'll take a growth spurt hopefully. And I love this pretty little annual salvia in there too. So, and of course the lantana is bright and beautiful, so it's got a lot of potential. It's hot, and I just took pictures yesterday, but something always draws me out here. And look, it's always worth coming out for. This beautiful annual hibiscus bloom. Look at this. I just fixed it up. Put this little verbena in it. Put another one of those right here. Those horrible snails did that. They just kept right on eating, like as if I hadn't even changed it. They just said, oh, we thought this was almost gone, but it's like it's filled back up again. So they finished that off. Do you ever have those times when things just kind of stack up, not doing right? Like I was telling you that my computer is giving me problems, and I guess I'm going to have to get a new one, and just several other things that we're going to have to do. I didn't tell you, but my niece had to go ahead and have her surgery sooner, and they did find some more cancer on an ovary, so I'm not sure what all's going on there. I need to go see her, and I need to go see her daughter, and my great niece Marley. I haven't seen her since she was born. And then after having my computer problems, I actually lost my iMovie program, and then after it had gone down, it finally came back up, and when it came up, all my work was gone. All the little posts that I had ready for YouTube were gone, and so I had to redo them. I was lucky, so I was just thanking the Lord that I did have those clips and pictures still, so I was able to just take the time, and it did take time and frustration to go ahead and try to get them done again, and I'm sure they're not quite the same. By the time you get this, though, they will have already got on. This one will come after them, so I hope you really enjoyed them. They were not only done, they were done twice, and I was so excited when I put on the butterfly that my friend Kathy had she had seen it, and she had said it, even on the little clip, she said, "Oh, do you see it, how big it is?" And then her husband had said, "Yeah." And so anyway, we got that on there. But the thing was, when I took the picture of us sitting down at the picnic table, and I put the other one on right before it of the butterfly, and then the little transition made it look like that butterfly that she had been the one to notice just flew right over her shoulder. So I was so happy with that, and then I never got it back on there, and it's not exactly like it was, but I still think it'll be good. I think she'll be surprised when she sees it. And that old heat is coming on, but we've had some more rain. I think we have another chance of rain tomorrow night, or actually Friday night, and this is Wednesday. Another thing that has happened just recently is my neighbor passed away. And he had lived here beside me for quite some time, so it's a shock, and I miss him. I miss him just going out to the mailbox, and not that we were so terribly close, but we were too, because his wife actually helped my daughter through school, because she was a teacher, and anytime I did not know, and that was a lot, especially when it comes to mathematics of any kind, but my daughter would go over to our next door neighbors where Vicky would help her. And so, and on top of that, their daughter grew up as almost a sister to my daughter, and they just have stayed in touch all those years and still are close. So it was not an easy thing to go through, even just for me, and I know it wasn't for the family. And then I think I told you about my friend's mom. She's 100 years old, and I think she was about 3 months on top of that she passed away on a Sunday. And I know it, even her daughter, through her emotions, said that it's a good thing. Mama's home, Mama's in heaven, Mama's rejoicing. And I know that is true. So grateful that she knew the Lord, and not only that, but she led other people. I'm one of those people that her influence of her Christian life stayed with me all of my life. So just a lot of things have been happening, but all through it all, I've been able to see the hand of God. Not that sometimes, not to say, well, I'm just right up there on top of everything. That is not the case whatsoever, because I had down days, and when I was working on the computer and trying to get my iMovies back on and get them back on YouTube, I just was thinking what I could be doing. Maybe if I wasn't doing that, I could be visiting my niece. I could be doing some other things that maybe needed done, maybe even more than what I did. But for right now, I just feel like it is my job. It's the job that I made for myself from the ground up, literally. And also, it's the job that the Lord has put on my heart to do. And so I feel like I'm doing what I should be doing, but you know how it is when you want to do more than you can do, and you feel so inadequate, and you are, because only God can be in all those places at once and take care of all those things. But He can, and He will. Just like He forgives us when we fall asleep trying to say our prayers, or all the other inadequacies that we have. He understands it all, and He accepts it the way we do it. Even if we have to go back, I have this certain prayer I like to say. I hope it's including everything, and I'll be a certain point in it, and I'll nod off, and then I'll arouse myself so that I can at least say the rest of my prayer, and I'll have to find out where I was in the prayer and then I'll go back with it. But I feel like Job, I want all of my family to be covered by my prayers. And I know I'm not the best prayer warrior there is, but I know my family believes in me, and I know that God is real and that He cares for them, and that He's no respecter of person. What He will do for me, He will do for others. Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.